Have you ever had the unshakable feeling that your cat truly knows you in a way that defies simple explanation? It's that moment you find them sitting perfectly still, their gaze fixed on an empty corner of the room, their focus so intense it seems to bend the very air around them, or the uncanny way they curl up against you, not just for warmth, but seemingly to siphon away the stress of your day, leaving a profound calm in its place. For decades, we've dismissed these behaviors as charming quirks, the inscrutable mysteries of the feline heart. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if these aren't just random behaviors, but signs of a deep, evolutionary, and psychological partnership we are only now beginning to understand? This isn't a story about ghosts or prophecies, it's a story about connection. A connection so sophisticated, it speaks to the very core of our own psychological need for security and understanding. Back in the 1940s, a man named Edgar Cayce, often called the Sleeping Prophet, spoke of cats in a way that was, for its time, radically out of step with conventional thought. During one of his documented sessions, he didn't just describe them as pets. He described them as spiritual guardians, beings with a specific mission to act as bridges between the tangible world and the subtle, energetic landscape of our own emotions. He suggested they were here to serve as stabilizers for the human psyche, especially during times of great personal and collective change. At the time, these ideas were filed away, considered too esoteric for public consumption. But today, through the lens of modern psychology and neuroscience, we can recast his intuitive insights into a language of science and emotional truth, discovering that the bond we share with our cats is far more powerful than we ever imagined. The real mystery isn't hidden in dusty archives. It's playing out in our living rooms right now. Veterinarians and animal behaviorists worldwide have noted a fascinating shift in feline behavior over the past several years. It's not one single, strange action, but a constellation of subtle changes reported by millions of cat owners, a heightened alertness, a more intense protective instinct, an almost preternatural sensitivity to our emotional states. A cat that seems to sense an anxiety attack before you do and moves to comfort you. A feline that positions itself in the northeast corner of the home, not randomly, but as if maintaining a vigil. These aren't the delusions of doting owners. They are observable patterns. When Dr. Sarah Chen, a researcher focused on the human-animal bond, began collating these reports, she found they formed a coherent picture not of paranormal activity, but of an animal exquisitely tuned to its environment and its human. This timing is critical. We are living in an age of unprecedented stress, of digital overload and social fragmentation, precisely the kind of great transition in human consciousness that intuitive thinkers like Cayce might have foreseen. Our cats, it seems, are responding. So, what is the science behind this deep, almost telepathic bond? It's here that Cayce's poetic ideas find a stunning echo in modern research. He spoke of cats as living antennas. Today, we understand this as a profound sensitivity to biological and energetic cues. Studies have shown that the feline purr, for instance, is a remarkable piece of biological engineering. Its vibrations, ranging between 20 and 50 hertz, are the same frequencies used in therapeutic medicine to promote bone density, heal tendons, and reduce inflammation and swelling. When your cat curls up on your lap and purrs while you're recovering from an illness or feeling down, it isn't just a coincidence. It is engaging in a form of instinctive vibrational medicine, a calm, steady rhythm that quite literally helps your body and mind to heal. Furthermore, research into the feline brain reveals a neurology built for hyper-awareness. They possess millions more cerebral cortex neurons than dogs, with unique neural structures that process sensory information from multiple streams at once. Their whiskers are not just for touch. They are sophisticated sensors that detect minute changes in air pressure and electromagnetic fields. Their eyes see a broader spectrum of light than ours. In psychological terms, they are living biofeedback machines. When a cat stares at an empty corner, it may well be tracking the subtle dance of dust motes in a sunbeam, sensing a slight draft, or simply monitoring the quiet flow of the household's energy, a concept we might reframe as the ambient emotional atmosphere. Your cat is a barometer for your home's psychological weather. It reacts to unresolved tension after an argument, to the serene focus of meditation, or to the chaotic energy of stress. They absorb this emotional data and, through their presence and their purr, help to transmute it, acting as a living, breathing regulator for our nervous systems. This explains the ancient Egyptian reverence for cats not as gods, but as guardians. They intuited what we can now measure: that sharing our space with a feline can lower blood pressure, reduce cortisol levels, and elevate feelings of calm and safety. This brings us to the most pressing question, the one you might be feeling in your own heart as you watch your own companion. Why now? Why are we and millions of others noticing these changes with such intensity today? The answer may lie less in the cats themselves and more in us. We are, as a society, becoming more psychologically aware. We are more attuned to concepts like mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and the impact of our environment on our mental health. We are, in a very real sense, finally learning to listen. The global feline synchronization that some researchers have noted, where cats in different parts of the world exhibit similar vigilant behaviors, could be a reflection of a globally shared human anxiety, a collective stress that our hypersensitive companions are picking up on and responding to in kind. They are holding space for us, quite literally, as we navigate the complexities of modern life. So, the most important shift we can make is not in our cat's behavior, but in our perception of it. What if we stopped seeing our feline friends as merely pets and began to recognize them as partners in our own psychological well-being? This shift in perspective is the first and most crucial step in activating a deeper partnership. It signals to your own subconscious and to the acutely perceptive animal beside you that you are open to a more profound level of connection. This isn't mystical, it's about respectful attention. It's about observing the patterns where they choose to sleep, how they react to your mood, the times they seek you out, and understanding these as communications. Welcome back. Now that we've begun to see our feline companions in this new light, not as pets, but as partners in our psychological well-being, the question becomes, how do we practically and consciously cultivate this connection? This is where Edgar Cayce's intuitive protocols align beautifully with modern therapeutic practices like mindfulness and co-regulation. It's about moving from passive observation to active, respectful partnership. Think of it not as training your cat, but as training your own perception to receive the guidance that has always been there. Let's begin with the foundation: mindful observation. This is more than just watching your cat. It's a deliberate practice in presence. For the next week, I want you to set aside 10 minutes each day simply to observe your cat without judgment or distraction. Put your phone away. Notice where they choose to rest. Is it always in a specific spot? How does their posture change when you enter the room? When do they purr, and what does that purr feel like in your own body? This practice does two things. First, it grounds you in the present moment, which is a core tenet of mindfulness-based stress reduction. Second, it begins to build a database of understanding. You'll start to see that when your cat sits by the front window at 4 p.m., it's not random. It's often just before your teenager comes home from school. Your cat is tracking the rhythms of the household, and by observing, you learn to read its nonverbal language. This isn't mystical. It's about paying a different kind of attention, the same focused attention a therapist pays to a client's body language. Next, we have what I call purr meditation, or conscious co-regulation. This is a powerful practice for mutual calming. Choose a time when your cat is naturally calm and receptive, perhaps in the evening. Sit comfortably and invite your cat onto your lap or beside you. Place one hand gently on its body. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to the sound and vibration of its purr. Now, try to synchronize your breathing with the rhythm of the purr. Breathe in for the duration of one purr cycle and out for the next. If it's not purring, Simply sync your breath to its relaxed breathing. What you are doing here is engaging in a powerful form of biofeedback and co-regulation. Your nervous system is literally synchronizing with your cat's calm, parasympathetic state. Studies on polyvagal theory show that our autonomic states are contagious. By consciously aligning with your cat's calm rhythm, you are telling your own body, "We are safe, we can rest." This practice can lower your heart rate, reduce anxiety, and create a profound shared state of peace. It's a two-way street. Your calmness reinforces its calmness, creating a beautiful, self-sustaining loop of tranquility. The third practice is developing silent communication. This is about leaning into the intuitive, nonverbal channel that exists between you. Start with simple mental projections, while maintaining eye contact with your cat in a soft, gentle way. Mentally project a feeling of gratitude or love. Picture a ball of warm, golden light in your mind and imagine sending it toward your cat. Then observe. You might not hear words, but notice the subtle responses. A slow blink, a slight relaxation of the body, a gentle swish of the tail. The slow blink, in particular, is a well-documented feline behavior signifying trust and affection. When you return it, you are engaging in a silent conversation that says, "I see you and I trust you." This practice strengthens the neural pathways of empathy and intuition in your own brain. It's an exercise in listening with more than your ears. Then there is the practice of following feline guidance. Your spiritually attuned cat is an expert in geomancy, the energy of spaces. When your cat consistently leads you to a particular chair or insists on lying in a specific spot on your bed, trust it. That spot likely has the most harmonious energy flow in the room. Try working or resting in that location and notice if you feel a greater sense of focus or peace. When your cat blocks your path or seems reluctant to let you enter a room, pause for a moment. Take a breath and check in with yourself. Are you rushing into a situation with frantic energy? Is there tension in that space that you haven't addressed? Your cat is a mirror for your own state and the state of your environment. By cooperating with its guidance, you open yourself to beneficial synchronicities, finding a moment of needed quiet, avoiding a stressful interaction, or simply discovering a new, more peaceful corner of your own home. Finally, engage in conscious energy exchange. This is especially powerful when you or your cat are feeling unwell. Instead of a one-sided petting session, make it a mutual exchange. As you stroke your cat, be mindful. Visualize your hand not just touching fur, but sending waves of soothing, healing energy. Imagine any stress or discomfort you feel being released and transformed. Simultaneously, be open to receiving its purring vibration as a healing frequency. This transforms a simple act of affection into a therapeutic ritual. It reinforces the bond and affirms that this is a reciprocal relationship. You are not its owner, you are its partner. These practices are not about summoning the paranormal. They are about honing very normal, very human capacities for empathy, presence, and intuition through our relationship with a species that excels in these areas. Your cat is a living, breathing mindfulness bell, reminding you to come back to the present, to breathe, and to attend to the subtle landscape of your own heart and home. This is the true essence of the prophecy, not a prediction of doom, but an invitation into a deeper, more conscious way of living, facilitated by the most unlikely of therapists. So, where does this journey of conscious connection ultimately lead? What began as a curious observation? A cat staring at an empty corner blossoms into a profound understanding of our own potential for growth and healing. This partnership, when we choose to engage it fully, becomes far more than a source of comfort. It becomes a catalyst for what psychologists call post-traumatic growth and a genuine expansion of our human capacities. Edgar Cayce's vision of a great ascension can be understood not as a supernatural event, but as a collective shift toward greater emotional intelligence, empathy, and self-awareness. And in this shift, our feline companions are not silent observers. They are active guides. Consider the psychological impact of this bond. We live in an age of what experts term chronic uniqueness, a deep, pervasive sense of isolation and disconnection. This loneliness is not just emotional, it's a physiological stressor. When we form a deep, attuned bond with another living being, we directly counter this. The consistent, non-judgmental presence of a cat provides a secure base, a biological antidote to loneliness. This is the true energetic anchoring Cayce described. It's the psychological safety that allows us to lower our defenses and begin the real work of self-exploration. Your cat's steady rhythm and acceptance give you the courage to face your own inner turmoil. This is the foundation upon which all personal transformation is built. Now, let's talk about the awakening of intuitive abilities. This is where modern psychology and neuroscience offer a fascinating explanation. What we often call intuition or a gut feeling is frequently the result of our subconscious mind processing vast amounts of data at a speed our conscious mind can't match. Your cat, with its hyperacute senses, is a constant source of this subtle data. When you learn to read its behaviors, its sudden alertness, its shift in posture, its focused gaze, you are essentially learning to access your own subconscious perceptions. You are being prompted to notice what you might otherwise ignore. A slight shift in the room's energy, a subtle change in a family member's tone of voice, the first flicker of your own anxiety before it becomes overwhelming. This partnership doesn't give you a new power. It helps you unlock and trust the sophisticated internal processing system you already possess. The telepathic connection reported by so many is, in many ways, a beautifully honed interspecies language of empathy and nonverbal cueing. This leads us to the most significant transformation, the healing of the human psyche. We've discussed how a cat's purr can mend bones and reduce inflammation, but its impact on complex psychological trauma is even more profound. In trauma therapy, a key goal is to help a patient move from a state of hypervigilance, the sympathetic nervous system in overdrive, to a state of safety, the parasympathetic nervous system. Cats are masters of the parasympathetic state. Their very presence, their purr, their soft fur, and their rhythmic breathing are all somatic cues for safety. For someone grappling with anxiety, PTSD, or chronic stress, the act of meditating with a cat, or simply stroking one, can be a direct pathway back to a regulated nervous system. They facilitate what therapists call bottom-up processing, healing trauma through the body first, rather than solely through the intellect. The phenomenon of disappearance return cats can be seen as a powerful metaphor for the therapeutic journey itself. We sometimes need to retreat from the world to process and integrate our experiences, returning transformed with new capacities for coping and perception. The data emerging from hospitals and universities confirms this. Patients in feline-assisted therapy show not just faster physical recovery, but measurable improvements in mood, social engagement, and self-efficacy. Students who study near cats report higher concentration levels and reduced test anxiety. This isn't magic. It's the measurable outcome of a regulated nervous system on cognitive and emotional function. Your cat is a living, breathing tool for resilience. Ultimately, Edgar Cayce's prophecy is best understood as a timeless truth, now being validated by science. We are not meant to navigate the complexities of human consciousness alone. We are wired for connection. The cosmic partnership he described is a beautiful allegory for a symbiotic relationship that heals both species. We provide our cats with safety and sustenance. They provide us with a mirror to our own inner state and a gentle, persistent guide back to our own center. They call us back to the present moment, to the simple, profound truth of a breath, a heartbeat, and a shared silence. The great transformation of human consciousness may not be a dramatic event in the skies. It may be happening quietly, in millions of homes. As more and more people choose to put down their phones, look into the ancient, knowing eyes of the feline beside them, and finally, learn to listen. The future of our emotional and psychological evolution may not depend on a distant guru or a technological breakthrough, but on our willingness to recognize the masterful teachers of presence and peace who already share our homes. The journey back to our true, calm, and connected selves begins with a single, simple act, reaching out a hand and accepting the guidance that has been waiting for us all along.